Welcome to the Wealth Studying Podcast. This is episode 486. Today is August 6, 2025. I'm your host, John Pugliano. I'm also the founder, money manager at investablewealth.com. Well, we're going to meander a little bit, so stick with me. I want to start off by seeing if you even remember last Friday's bad jobs report and the rapid sell-off that we saw in the stock market. Oh, there was panic all over the weekend, and you know what? Here we are. Wednesday, the next week, no one seems to care. Markets are back up. Second quarter earnings are still looking very strong. And if anything, the bad news about a weak job report is actually fueling more enthusiasm on Wall Street because now they think they're going to get a rate cut in September. I bring all this up as just an example of how you should do your best to avoid the static and the noise and the daily ever-changing media narrative. It almost has no bearing on your life unless you allow it to. So consider this. Maybe the jobs report was weak. Maybe there is a slowdown in hiring. But economic data isn't your destiny. You're an independent agent. You can create your own prosperity. Let's consider this. Let's take for face value that the economy is slowing down and there's weakness in the job market. Well, I can tell you anecdotally by talking to members of this audience as well as clients and other people I come in contact with, that if you're employed in the trades, for example, if you're a welder, then you probably have all the work that you can handle. That's been the case for a long time, and I think that will continue to be the long-term trend. Again, it's a blending on a personal level of what I've been talking about, of the confluence and the merging of technology with industry. And specific to that thought, what I really want to focus on today is a company you probably never heard of. They're called Lincoln Electric. Their ticker symbol is LECO, Lima Echo Charlie Oscar. They're known as a welding company. Their primary products that they've sold over the years are welding equipment and supplies. But they're much more than that. That's what I want to get into. Oh, and by the way, one of the ways that I think a lot of the jobs report data that we hear is BS minutia, and how I know that the anecdotal information I hear from individual welders and other tradesmen that there's more work than they can handle. Well, look at the price performance and the profitability of Lincoln Electric. Year to date, they're up almost 29%. So they're performing like some kind of a growth tech company. And yet, they're 130 years old. Yeah, this is not some Silicon Valley startup that's grown at that kind of level. And the reason is because they're so much more than just a welding company. Yep, they do provide the basic, not only hand-operated welding equipment that you would expect, but they've obviously expanded into automated welding systems as well. And in fact, their largest growth area right now is what's generally known as not robots, but cobots. It's a collaborative work effort where the work is complicated and detailed. You have to have a human there to work alongside the robot to make sure that you get the best desired outcome. That requires a very skilled and knowledgeable workforce. And so while there's a lot of cheap equipment, a lot of Chinese knockoffs, I'm sure you've been to Harbor Freight and you've seen, a $30 MIG welder or something similar on Amazon. Well, yeah, you know what? Lincoln Electric doesn't play in that market. We're talking the highest quality, probably arguably the best welding equipment in the world, and not only equipment, but the service that backs it up, and why the company has continually been so profitable over the years is that welding is consumable. The end user has to continually not only upgrade to new equipment, but every job consumes material. That's essentially a membership or a subscription program. So that means they're not only going to get new equipment sales as equipment either wears out or as a new technology comes in, but every day, day in, day out, they're also selling consumables. And they're staying in direct contact with their user base because of that. The reason this company has been so successful for the last, over 100 years is because they not only provide that quality product and quality service, but they back it up by creating a networking effect. they've gone beyond just basic welding, right? It's all about any type of manufacturing process. 3D printing, additive manufacturing. Of course, the safety equipment that would not only go along with welding, but just general and environmental protection standards for workers. And it's not only about selling the materials and the consumables, but they've built a moat around their business by effectively becoming probably one of the largest, if not the largest, welding training education program in the world. They maintain their own huge campus, as well as another half dozen or so satellite regional education centers, where they're not only training people just to work on their equipment, but they're broadening out and expanding the whole trade of welding and manufacturing processes. So they work directly with not only their own, educational programs, but directly with high schools, tech schools, community colleges, labor unions. And they sponsor all type of industry groups and seminars and workshops all around the country, all around the world. The reason that Lincoln Electric is so successful, regardless of right now whether or not there's a weak jobs report, the reason the company is doing so well now, up, close to 29% year to date, and has been in business all these decades, is because they're not just a welding company. They're a 130-year-old tech ecosystem. And what I've just described to you is one company, one very successful company in the area of generally welding, right? We could drill down and find examples that cater to electricians or plumbers or pipe fitters, HVAC systems, airframes, power plants, diesel mechanics. There are successful companies that are putting together networks that bridge the gaps between not only equipment, but supplies and material and education and entire industry groups. As an investor, you want to be looking for that because these are signs of profitable companies. And then on a career level, it's the same thing. You want to be looking at these careers where it's a blending of technology and centuries-old industrial practices, where you can be a cobot, not replaced by a robot, but you can be working alongside and with a robot. And I'm talking about the trades here, but I could just have easily been talking about, heart surgeons or cybersecurity experts. Look around you, both in terms of your own personal career or investing opportunity. We literally live in the most prosperous times in the history of humanity. Don't let some stupid jobs report get you down. If there's going to be a recession, just choose not to participate in it. I sure don't plan to. So hey, as always, until next time, this is John Pugliano wishing you the very best returns.